In the silent yet ruthless rotation of the universe, with every passing day, the world must tearfully bid farewell to over 150,000 lives. That number is not merely dry statistics, it represents 150,000 unfinished stories, 150,000 tiny universes suddenly extinguished. On average, 6,000 people depart every hour, 100 every minute, and with every blink of your eyes, two hearts somewhere on this planet have ceased beating. Even in the few fleeting moments you spend reading these lines, a group of people has permanently crossed the threshold of existence. They leave this world for a myriad of reasons: a sudden accident at an intersection, a fateful slip and fall, a sudden heart attack, or simply the natural fading of old age. Death, with its cold impartiality, is the absolute common denominator of every living being. It does not bow its head to power, it does not respect wealth, nor does it discriminate based on skin color or faith. It can be said that life is essentially a terminal illness we carry within us from the moment of our first cry, a journey where the final destination, one from which no one can flee, is non-existence. Although our sharp intellects fully understand this law of life and death, rarely does anyone possess the courage to truly internalize it into every breath. Try it, just once. Sit quietly in an empty room, close your eyes, and visualize the day of your own funeral in vivid detail. What will that scene look like? Who will stand there beside your casket? In that line of people bowing their heads, how many are there solely out of social obligation or hollow courtesy? And who? Who were the ones arriving with truly broken hearts, with sincere agony because of your absence in this world? When your physical form has returned to dust, what legacy will remain in their memories? Will it be the numbers in your bank account, or the warmth and kindness you once bestowed? Facing death in its stark nakedness exposes a painful paradox in human behavior. Let us cast our gaze a little further. In just 120 years, a mere blink in the cosmic eye, all 8 billion people currently breathing, loving, hating, and fighting on Earth today will have vanished. We will all be wiped out. A completely new generation, faces entirely strange to us, will replace us to walk these same roads. That cycle continues endlessly. One wave lies down, another rises up. We are in essence merely travelers on the same express train hurtling toward the abyss. By rights, the awareness of this finitude and our shared ending ought to bring humans closer together, to love one another more deeply as fellow sufferers. Yet reality is incredibly harsh. Why do we squander our already meager time, fragile as a candle in the wind, nurturing hatred? Why do parents use bitter words to wound the tender souls of their children? Why do spouses who once swore oaths of eternal love turn to tormenting one another as enemies? Why do blood siblings cut ties over petty material disputes or friction that has long been covered in the dust of time? Perhaps the greatest tragedy of humanity is not that we die, but that we live as if we never will, wasting the present on meaningless things. To find peace amidst the rushing currents of life, perhaps we need to bow our heads and learn the four immutable truths of the universe. First is the weight of cause and effect. Understand that every word spoken, every action taken creates ripples that spread endlessly. A burst of unwarranted anger, a cruel criticism you hurled at someone years ago, you may have forgotten, but the scar it leaves in the recipient's subconscious remains there, smoldering and persistent. Nothing is lost. It is the mere transformation from action to consequence. Understanding this is not to live in fear or to torment oneself over the past, but to live more mindfully, more carefully in every single present moment. And remember, a sincere apology is never too late to heal a wounded soul. Second is the nature of impermanence. Nothing in this world is eternal. This robust body will grow old, this sharp mind will become forgetful, passionate relationships will fade, and even this glittering material world will one day vanish when the sun dies out. But please do not be saddened, for it is precisely this fragility and brevity that bestows beauty to life. Why is a sunset beautiful? Because it does not last forever. We must cherish the present moments, whether it is a hearty laugh or a moment of peace watching the clouds, because they are the only things we truly hold. Third is the trap of attachment. When we cling too tightly to anything, fame, assets, or even love, we are inadvertently signing a contract of suffering with our own soul. Because the nature of the world is change and loss. The intenser the attachment, the more heart-wrenching the pain of separation, which will inevitably occur according to the law of impermanence. Learning to love passionately, yet maintain the mindset to gently let go when necessary, that is true freedom. And finally, the truth hardest to accept, but also the most beautiful, death. Instead of viewing it as the grim reaper's cycle, see death as a great teacher. If life were immortal, every moment would become dull, tasteless, and gray because we would always have tomorrow to procrastinate. Death creates scarcity, breathing soul into every second, making the time spent with loved ones radiant and infinitely precious. Death is also the strongest bond connecting humanity, reminding us that the 7 billion people out there are not competitors, but teammates sharing the same fate, rowing together on the cramped boat of time. Therefore, the next time the flames of anger flare up within you because someone cut you off in traffic, or the intent for revenge kindles because of a past hurt, pause for a breath. Look deeply into the person opposite you and realize that they too are just a traveler struggling with their own private pains, heading toward the same final destination as you. Live so that every moment becomes brilliant. Love deeper, forgive faster, laugh louder, and be fully present. Because after all, when the night falls and the play of life concludes, the present moment is the only asset, the final gift we truly possess. Do not let it pass in regret and waste.